All right, guys, I want to take a few minutes to talk about the kipping muscle up, how it relates ultimately back to our posture, our squat or push up and a jump. But really here, we're going to rely on a lot of the other concepts we've developed in our kip from the kipping pull-up as we tie it all in together here. So if you haven't first watched the strict muscle up video, go ahead and take a look there because we talk a lot about this shifting of weight. That weight shift is extremely important in the kip. And then also in the strict muscle up video, we talk about the shoulder positions and how that ties in along with the grip. So again, go back to that video if you haven't seen it yet, and it'll lay the foundation for what we're gonna build on here. So now with the kipping muscle up, I'm gonna create a swing as I get momentum to help that drive me up, and then I'm gonna get a little more aggressive on my transition to make this as easy as possible for me to get from under the rings to above the rings. So, like in the kipping pull-up, the positions we're going to use are our arch and our hollow positions. So remember, these are tight. Belly button drawn in, Kegel, squeeze your butt cheeks, twisting my feet, rib cage down, stand tall. My arch position is my full body arched back. That hollow position is my full body here. So as I'm generating power in my swing, I'm going to make sure I've got the false grip. If I don't have the false grip on the rings, I'm actually in the transition going to have to jump my hands over. So it's really important to get that false grip. And the swing of the muscle up just looks like that arch to hollow. Okay, so next part of the kip, just like the kipping pull-up, if you want to review this a little bit more and see more progressions, you can go back to our kipping pull-up video. But now the actual drive your weight up part happens as I swing from my arch position to my hollow and then throw my hips aggressively right back to that arch position. So we keep it really simple. It's just very simple positions. What that looks like is arch and hollow, but now I'm gonna throw my hips up. That's gonna get my body weight coming up. So now the kipping muscle up really turns into a movement or an exercise that is very, very similar to the clean and the snatch. So what are we doing in the clean and the snatch? Ultimately, we're getting weight into our jumping position, and then we're gonna jump into this arch position. We're gonna use that to put power on the weight, and then as that weight's going, we're gonna pull on it with our arms as we tuck ourselves down to go get the bar either in a front squat or in an overhead squat position. So it's this aggressive move to an arch, an immediate pull into kind of a tucked squatty position that we're going to use here again in the muscle up. Again, we want everything to link together. The way we move efficiently, it doesn't matter what we're doing, it's always the same. And the more we connect these things in our heads, the more that your practice from your cleans and your snatches transfer over into getting better at the muscle up and vice versa. So what I'm going to do in the muscle up now is I'm swinging and kipping, and when I throw my hips up in the kip, it's just like the hips up in the clean. Immediately, right after I get that full extension, I'm going to immediately tuck into a little ball as I pull and transition. If I'm standing here, my center of gravity is about at my hip. If I start raising my feet up in the air, my center of gravity rises. If I was able to raise both of my feet up off the ground, standing here, it would be a little hard to do. If I was able to do it, my center of gravity would be even higher. So by being low, as I transition, if I tuck into a little ball, I'm actually helping myself raise where my center of gravity is, and it makes it a lot easier to get on top of the rings. So in this transition piece, this is the most important piece, we're looking for, just like the clean and the snatch, we're looking for speed. As soon as I swing and kip, I'm looking to pull on the rings and tuck into a little tiny ball. So let's take a look at that. That tuck into a little tiny ball moves my center of gravity up. The motion is that extension pull into a ball. Looks just like a clean and a snatch. We can use it a lot. And ultimately what we're getting good at is that extension and slam that shows up in volleyball spikes, in throwing, it shows up everywhere. Once I'm on top of the rings, now I just have a kipping ring dip to do. I'm in this little tuck position, so I like to drop my legs. That way I can drive my knees up and do another jump back to that arch position to get power on the way up. So little ball, I'm going to drop and then jump my way up and come back down. So we're using the same kips over and over and over again. My swing and kip is just like the pull-up. That from the arch position transition looks very similar to the clean and the snatch. My kipping ring dip, once I'm here, of driving my knees and throwing my hips is gonna look just like the kip from the handstand push-up. So now we've got this huge web of linked together movements that we can piece together, and when we get really good at one, we get really good at all of them. So there's a lot of different ways to do muscle ups. There's one really, really efficient way, and it's tying all of this stuff in together. So we'll have some more videos on tips and ways to practice. But in your mind, keep it simple. It's always a combination or a variation of a squat, a push-up, and a jump, and it all goes back to bracing your core. Enjoy.